everybody, this is Angela Savage, the daughter of IndyCar driver Swede Savage. It's time to watch stories from motorsports. My buddy, Doug Kenny, loves to share the journey of people in racing, and he is an amazing dude. Drivers, owners, fans, and team members, watch the SFM podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Stories from Motorsports. I'd like to thank my buddy Josh Maid for the YouTube work he did years ago that inspired me to create this platform. I'd like to thank my buddy Victor Sifton for convincing me to get back into it after my hiatus from 2017 to 2019. I have a very special treat for you all today with an amazing journey from an amazing racing figure. Drivers, start your engines.
You could drive them to the racetrack. Actually, the first year in '86, you were required to drive the cars to the track. And then you put the Goodyear. There was a Goodyear that was the OE tire then, and then for the drive they had a shaved down version that worked in dry conditions as opposed to the full tread depth, and it had unheard of levels of prize money, and that was really the series that did it for me. Because the cars were all equal. Now the first race there were 76 cars, but this $20,000 car paid $6,000 to win way back then, and again the Porsche had a similar single-make series with 944 Turbo Cup cars that had terrific prize money. There was a great Formula 2000 series then, and all three were supported by different tobacco companies. So that was when tobacco was spending lots of money on car racing. And anyway, I managed to in that what was called the Players GM Challenge, win a championship, develop some relationships with some corporate supporters, which led to an opportunity to do a few Trans Am races, and kind of took off from there.
It's pretty impressive, man. So you got your opportunity with Trans Am, and how did that play out?
Yeah, my first Trans Am race, I drove for a guy named Gordy Octodal, and Gordy was based in Minnesota. His cars were not the prettiest, but they seemed to go pretty well. So I had met Gordy up here at the Trans Am race when I was racing the short stock Camaro. We were on the same weekend, and as a support race for the Trans Am. I met Gordy and actually did a few laps of one of his cars. He was running Buicks, Buick Somerset. People need to look that up. Anyway, I worked out a deal with him to do Road Atlanta a few weeks later. This was probably mid-September, late September of '87, and I finished fourth. So, and that led to a test with Rush Racing, and it took a while, but I ended up doing three races for Rush in two or three in '88, and then 3 in '89. That was we were slowly making our way there, but out of those 5 or 6 races over 2 years, I managed to get one pole and a win. And so by my first more than 3, almost a full season in 1990 with Rush, with Motocraft and AER Manufacturing as a sponsor. And the company AER Manufacturing is in Addison, Texas. And I remember meeting with Jack and him telling me that, the folks at AER are pretty nice people. If they like you, they may stick with you. So that was in 1990, and AER is still involved with the Fellows family. They're now, AER sponsors my son, and that was AER. Actually, when I moved to Chevrolet from Ford, they came along to help as well. Didn't have to, but they wanted to be part of it. And it's been amazing. They're Bob and Helen McGraw, they're great people, we've enjoyed a terrific friendship for over 30 years now, and they've been incredibly generous in their support of not only my early racing endeavors, but wanting to be part of even some of the NASCAR races I did, and now helping my son.
Yeah, when I looked up AER a while ago, I briefly got it confused for the American Equipment Racing Team by Buzz McCall.
Yeah. Which is where I ended up next after my Ford days. I did probably 10 of the 13 or 14 races in 1990 with Jack, and then 91. 91 there wasn't a factory deal anymore with Ford. And then I moved to Tom Gloy's team. Tom Gloy was a champion in the Trans Am Series, I'm going to guess it's say 79, maybe early 80s. Anyway, Tom drove for Tom 1993, 94. And it was in that when Ford came back with support. They ended up supporting two teams. Rush came back in, I think, 94. But it was Tom Gloy Racing and then Rush Racing. There were the two Ford teams trying to take on Chevy and Dodge back then. And it ended up being recruited by Herb Fishel and Joe Negri, who ran GM Racing back then, and ended up becoming a Chevy driver, starting in the '95 season, and been a Chevrolet ever since on both sides of the border. Continuing as an ambassador and with Chevy, I have to say, on both sides of the border, and that relationship branched out into things like our high-performance driving school at Spring Mountain in Nevada, west of the Bay of Vegas. That's for Corvette owners, and led to the Corvette racing program, being part of that. So, we're jumping around here in terms of decades. Needless to say, it really was a chance meeting with her at the Detroit Trans Am race in '94. When I returned to Belle Isle, '94, '95, '96. Anyway, it was with IndyCar then. And I won the race, and the race was sponsored by Chevy. So Herb Fishel was actually presenting me with the trophy for winning, and he literally on the podium, basically out of the side of his mouth, asked me, how do we get you in a Chevy? And of course, I kinds of swings at GM Canada based on the show and stock racing I had done up here. And that's kind of how it went. He ended up calling folks at GM Canada for my contact info, and that was June of '94. And then we had a meeting in August, and started racing for Chevy's factory Transatlantic, which was owned by Buzz McCall, and that was called American Equipment Racing, and they were based in Indianapolis. So it was so that was '95, '96. We won a bunch of races with that team, and unfortunately, Chevrolet. I had a 3-year contract, and they starting with the '95 season. Then at the end of '96, they withdrew from the Trans Am Series, and we just bought a house. It was now what? And literally, I still had one more year of my contract, and it was in the '97 season. Chevy was sort of encouraging me to try a little bit of NASCAR, and they basically got me a couple of tests with what was then the Busch Series prior to Nationwide and Xfinity, and I also got to race a Ferrari 333, the open cockpit prototype here at our home track, and we managed to get the pole and win the race with my teammate with Brad Morgan. And I managed to win my first NASCAR race in that season. I did won the Craftsman Truck Series race at Watkins Glen in '97. So we were still able to do well, just kind of jumping around in various types of cars. And then it was after the prototype win, I was summoned to Detroit. Met with Herb and Joe. They said, Ron, we're going to take a Corvette to Le Mans. We'd like you to be part of that. And I paused for about a nanosecond, and I'm in. Because typically when a manufacturer pulls out of some sort of factory racing, it's usually it's a lot of years before they get back in. And obviously when they pulled out of the Trans Am program, unbeknownst to me, there were plans for taking a Corvette, and this was the 5th generation Corvette back then, and putting together a program to race not only in the U.S. but go to Le Mans. So that was just a welcome to the end of my contract. Was obviously renewed, and we actually, the Corvette race program, we didn't race until '99. So we basically tested the entire season of '98. The rules were changing for the GT class, and we did do a fair amount of testing following a lot of the sports car races, and it was back then that was the evolution of the American Le Mans Series. So that was one of the things that Herb mentioned in my meeting with him when they said, "Hey, we'd like to be our lead guy for the Corvette race program." There's a guy by the name of Don Panos who's got this great vision for using the Le Mans name and creating an American Le Mans Series with an alliance with the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So obviously, Herb and Joe were not wrong. But this, in what Don Panos his vision came to reality and became a huge success. And and lots of manufacturers became part of it. And so that's predominantly what the focus was. Starting at the Rolex 24 in Daytona in '99 was a long distance racing with Corvette, and the team was Pat York.
Pretty cool, man. Just a question, did you ever drive for Vic Sifton in Kanaska Motorsports at all, or no?
Where did you find something like that?
Oh, I just did some research. I just did some research about you, and I read in some sort of article that you were sponsored or drove for Vic Sifton at some point.
Yeah, Victor bought a Cup car, and I tested at Watkins Glen. I can't remember what year it was. It may have been '96. Yeah, maybe '95. Anyway, because I've still been transit. It was on the same weekend, and we managed to make the race with its car. And back then there was, and that was pretty much through most of, through the early to mid 2000, probably 2010. They were sending cars home. Anywhere from 6 to 8 cars wouldn't make the race. And as popular as it was, anyway, we did make the race, and that was the one and only time that I drove for Victor. We did this Cup car, and the engine built fairly early in the race, which was disappointing. But I'm thinking that was '95 or '96.
Okay, all right. So yeah, what was it like driving? What was that?
I had forgotten.
Yeah. Your son also told me as well when I interviewed him. He told me a little bit about your early career as well. So.
You've got a better memory than I do.
Yeah. So what was driving the 24 Hours of Daytona like? Hey everybody! I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please hit like and subscribe if you did so, and please continue supporting our amazing guest. And everybody, we'll see you next time on SFM.
Hi, this is Ted Warner speaking. While the checkered flag is waved for this program, stay tuned for next week for the next episode of SFM. Thanks to Doug Kenny for what he does for motorsports.